So let's jump
Excellent.
to Nicholas. Nicholas, hi, welcome.
Yes. Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
what can we do for you today?
What's going on, Nick?
Hey, long time viewer, first time caller, and as my wife died Thursday the 7th of May.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
Sorry to hear that.
And I'm the one who found her, and I realized when I saw her that she was just gone. So I've been an atheist since I was 7. That's like when I figured, like, I don't believe in any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I, for the first 3 days of it, I had this sort of weird situation where I was trying to negotiate with her to come back, even though I don't believe in an afterlife. It was kind of weird, and the way everybody keeps, because everybody else I know has some like range of religiosity, so they don't know how to deal with me because they're dealing with it in a completely different way. I don't, and they're having. I told them that they could have whatever ceremony they want to help them deal with this in any way they want, because we didn't care about ceremonies. We just didn't. So our only idea was she was going to be cremated, and I was going to get her ashes. And when I go, I'm going to be cremated, and we're going to be together forever, mixed together like that. That's the only kind of together forever we were thinking about. Yeah. But everybody else keeps telling me, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, everybody else just keeps telling me like ways to talk to our 3-year-old daughter about where mama's at. Mm-hmm. And I just try not to say anything. Like, I just don't know what to say when they start talking in religious terms, like telling her mama's in a better place running with her brother in heaven. I'm like, I just go blank face because I don't want to start an argument over my wife because she was a very sweet woman. And I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings in this time.
Would you rather that they don't make any suggestions whatsoever with regards to how you should handle this situation? Would you rather they just stay out of it? Or is there any value whatsoever in what they're telling you, even though it may be not the advice that you're actually hoping to get?
Well, I know they care about me, and that sort of helps. I just sort of lock up. Like, I don't know how to respond to it because I just see religion as insanity, like a form of insanity that you're taught from a very young age, like to have. That's all I've ever saw religion as. I've been, like I said, been an atheist pretty much since I was 7. I've rejected all forms of supernatural claims since I was a little kid, and so I don't know how to respond. I don't want to say it was like, because I don't even know how to deal with this, because I just want to be honest with my daughter, but she's 3.
Sure. Yeah. There's only so much she's going to be able to take in. And then on top of it, all the religious twists to the whole thing, I suppose would probably just even maybe it might make it easier for her, but it might make it more confusing. It's hard to say, but I mean, she's your daughter. You are responsible for her. And I would say that you probably have the priority in how you decide to explain to her what's happening. That would be my thought. I don't know, V, if you have any.
Yeah, I know that this is, I mean, there is no easy way to have these kinds of conversations or to be in this space. I cannot imagine being in that space. And my heart goes out to you and your daughter and your whole family. My thinking here is, I think you're right. I think you should be honest with your daughter. I think that the short-term benefit of maybe having an easy, pat answer, which isn't really going to make the pain of not seeing her mom go away. It's just an easier answer to give in the moment. I don't necessarily see that as the benefit of that outweighing the confusion that that's going to create later on as she starts thinking about these things, especially with you as her dad, who is an atheist. So my thinking, and this is not my advice, I think this is, I believe I was talking with Daryl Ray about this on another show. Your daughter is going to take her cues from you, right? She is going to decide how traumatizing and how horrible this is from you. And while she is, of course, going to have to grapple with things. Hello?
I was just saying that's why I try, like, she was at my sister's since the day that, like, up until just this Friday, because I can only have her on weekends because I work so much. She stayed at my sister's. When she came back, it just, I have to hold back, like, from crying because I don't want to, like, her to, like, wonder why Dad's crying.
Right.
So I just, I try to keep from doing that around her. It just reminded me how different things are when she got back to the house because of how her mom was disabled. So she was always in one place. She was always in pain. So she usually just sat, because we keep our bed downstairs because she couldn't make it upstairs. She was always here every day for years. And then she's just gone. And I didn't know how to deal with it. I went through the bribing stage of grief, just trying to bribe her to come back, just crying for days. And I don't want to do that in front of my daughter because it freaked her out the day, because she was here. She was downstairs in the crib, and I didn't let her see her mom or anything like that. But as soon as they were carrying her away, I just broke down. Then she started crying. That's when she started crying, was when I just fell. I was already falling to pieces, but she thought I was playing. But I just completely was destroyed seeing my wife leave. And that's when she started crying. And I made a point to myself to not break down again in front of my daughter. And like, she's laying in bed with me right now. And I gave her mommy's favorite blankie, and I kept one, and my wife's cremated one because she had 3 blankies she slept with. I'm just trying to manage. And her family, like all the family, my mom keeps trying to tell me what I believe. Like, they think that I'm going to deal with it better if I deal with it from their frame of reference.
Sure.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I have a couple thoughts on that, if you allow me to respond to that. Like, I've got lots of thoughts going through my head. The first one is, your daughter seems like she's very young. She's probably not going to remember too much of it, even maybe coming across and noticing you crying or something. But how you are responding to it over the years, I think she will remember that. And she's going to probably be exposed to all different explanations of what happened to her mom. So it might be a better use of your time perhaps to prepare her for the type of responses that she may hear from family members about what happened. Hey, when Auntie comes over, she may mention that mommy's in heaven, and some people think that mommy's in heaven, but I actually don't think that that's the case. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you can prepare her for the possible stories that she may be hearing so that she won't be surprised when she hears it. And then maybe you can even encourage her to come and talk to you afterwards to say, yeah, Auntie did come in and tell me that mommy's up in heaven, that type of thing. Try to prepare her for the type of responses that she may start to hear so that you can have discussions about that and what she thinks is maybe the best way. She may say, you know what, I guess, Daddy, I like the idea of being able to see mommy in heaven again. That might be something that you just want to let her sit with and not get in the way of, because that's her preferred way of dealing with it. But there's nothing saying that you can't also share what you actually think happened. And I
Right.
think that that's important. She's your rock. You are, you know, you need to be there for her. I think you know that. You have the dominant narrative. So I think at the end of the day, likely because you're spending more time with her, she'll probably be more inclined to think what you think, but prepare her for the alternatives, I think would be my advice for you.
Yeah, I was trying to keep my like questions like short and coded, but it's crazy because there's so many things that I just don't know how to like I said, just like how they deal with it, how they want me to explain it to my daughter, how they want me to deal with it. How can I put all these different things into just one topic to bring onto the show?
Yeah.
I was trying to, but it seems like it keeps going and like it just branches out into more and more just scattered like things to talk. It's just my family, like they're nice. They seem to be like holding back, but when they first started talking to me and it keeps worming its way into the conversation, I'm like, the only thing I get from it is that they're trying to be nice and trying to care for me. Everything else, it just seems, I know it sounds harsh, it's just their way of dealing with it just seems worthless to me. It doesn't help because I'm not going to trick my mind into thinking there's some afterlife just to feel better. I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
I don't like emotions overriding like reason. I've always been against that. You could have asked my wife when she was alive. She said that I had the eternal contradicting personality. That I would, when it came to like dealing with actual real things, I basically would turn off my emotions and just deal with it from a very logical frame of reference. But she was shocked that I could be that cold and calculating with things, but still cry when I see somebody die in my favorite movies. She always said I was the coldest, most compassionate person she's ever met, she said.
Yeah, and that's something that I think is a common misconception, that you can only be one or the other, right? You can only be rational and logical, or you can feel emotions deeply, and that's simply not true. You can be both. Nick, I think that for me, the thing that I want to convey to you more than anything else is, you don't need to have all the answers right now. You don't need to worry about doing everything right. You don't need to worry that there is something that you should be saying that you're not. Be honest with your daughter as much as you can. Find people who can support you if you don't feel like you can cry in front of her. Make sure that there's somebody who you can cry with. And if you have family members who are pushing a narrative onto you through the kindness of their heart, in the best of intentions, even then, if it's not something that is helping you, if it's something that is making things harder for you, you have the right to ask them to stop doing that. Say that, okay, I understand we are approaching this differently. I respect your right to mourn this person in the way that you want, in the way that makes you feel the best. Please respect my choices in how I'm mourning for my wife. So making sure that you have that support network, and also are setting some boundaries, not just for you, but for your daughter as well, and maybe what exactly is okay and acceptable to talk with her about in addition. And lastly, I think I just want to plug the Secular Therapy Project, which if at any point in time you see that, okay, I'm going to need to talk to somebody, maybe professionally, about this, which is always a good idea. The Freedom from Religion Foundation has partnered with the Secular Therapy Project to put you in touch with therapists in your area who are secular, who won't come at you with any religion, any woo. They will be there for you as a support network. So definitely check them out as well.
I'd like to add also, just don't be afraid to set boundaries. I am wondering though, was your wife religious? Do they perhaps think that they have an obligation to sort of pick up where she left off, or was she more in line with where you stood?
My wife, it's kind of weird. I call her the compassionate, like, nihilist. She didn't really care about anything. It wasn't until she met me that she actually called herself an atheist. She said she never really even cared about the question. She didn't care. She didn't really care about a whole, like, the only thing she thought mattered was to make people happy. And the only thing that she thought had any value is seeing people happy around her. She didn't see any value in questioning whether, like, she didn't think it was an important subject. She just said, I don't believe in a God. I just really don't care.
Yeah.
She said, like, when she was raised in a hardcore Catholic, they were like legit classic Italian family, hardcore Catholic, and her grandmother actually told her that she was going to hell the first time, because my wife was disabled because she jumped off of a bridge and got ran over by 2 cars at the bottom. And her grandmother, first thing she said to her was that she was going to hell for it. So,
okay. Well, it sounds like she is a really caring, really caring, loving person, and I think you're doing the right thing by soliciting some advice on how to respond to this, and that might be the way to go forward. Is talk to other people who are non-believers who may have kids, and there's some disagreement about how to raise these children. This is a common theme that we see in the atheist community. One parent is religious and the other one is not, and how do we raise these kids? Of course, your situation, I think, just happened a little bit more suddenly, and I'm really sorry that happened.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm on the back end of it. I'm still having these moments where I just want to break down, but it's getting easier now. I was a whole lot worse for the first. I was inconsolable. I couldn't have my daughter here for the first 3 days of it.
That's understandable.
Take as much time with this as you need. This isn't something, again, that has a set time limit. This isn't something that you need to be okay with in a month. This is going to be a long process, and there might not be clear-cut right or wrong answers, and that's okay. This is the reason religions were invented, was to deal with exactly the feelings that you're feeling right now, because they are so powerful and they are so intense. And as humans, we need to feel like we understand what's happening and be able to categorize things. So we, as atheists, kind of have that extra viewpoint of, okay, this is a big thing, and it's impacted the way our society has been shaped, these exact feelings that you're feeling right now. But as you move through this, as you have conversations with your family and with your daughter, definitely give us a call back and let us know how things are going. Let us know if you have additional questions. We'd be happy to continue to talk to you next week.
Yeah, I was. The only thing that's going to be hard. I don't know what's going to go, because I told them they could have whatever ceremony they're having. They're having a small ceremony with a Baptist minister. We didn't care about. I just wanted them to be able to do whatever they needed to do to grieve her. I didn't really care. The only thing we talked about was having her cremated and me having her ashes, which her father's going to hand off to me at the end of the ceremony that they have. I mean, I'm just trying to do what she wanted. I'm trying to sort of let her last wishes be known, because she talked extensively about this stuff. Like what she wanted to have done, because her life expectancy was actually next year. She was told that her life expectancy was 33, died at 32.
Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah. So I'm just letting them have their Baptist ceremony because that's what, like I said, she didn't really care about the question. She just wanted people to be happy, and I want them to be able to deal with it whatever way that helps them. But I just don't know what to tell them when they start saying, it's like, you know, Nick, that she's in heaven running with her brother, and I'm just, I just like,
Yeah.
I don't want to tell this person who's grieving this way, no, that's silly.
Yeah.
Even though I do think that, I'm just trying to hold my tongue.
Right. And that makes you a good person. That makes you an empathetic person. And you don't need to get into a debate about whether or not heaven exists or how rational the belief is. All you need to say is, I appreciate you trying to comfort me. I need to grieve with this in my own way. Please, let's talk about something else. And
yeah, you can accommodate people, but you also, I think it's going to be healthy to set some boundaries.
Yeah.
How far are you willing to let them go when it comes to, like, you may say, okay, you can dump all that religious stuff on me, but not around my daughter. That might be a good compromise, but it sounds like you're walking a really fine line of establishing some boundaries, but also accommodating them and not preventing them from dealing with her death in their own way. And I think that that's really good. I just hope that they afford you the same in return.
Right. Thank you so much for calling, Nick. I really appreciate it. And my thoughts are with you and your family.
Yeah, Nick. Thanks, Nicholas.
Thank you. You have a nice day.
Call us back with an update if you get a chance.
Yes, please do.
Wow. Tough situation.
Yeah. Heavy first call.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's not uncommon. At least a couple times a month, we'll get a call very similar to this on the show. Either it's we have different ideas of what religion is, how do we tell this to our children, or very often it is grief. It is her grandmother died or her mother died, or some relative close to them is no longer with us, and how do we talk about that? So I feel massively underqualified as somebody who doesn't have children.
I know. Well, yeah, but even with children, I'm still struggling too. Like, oh, what can I say to Nicholas to try to make this tough situation better? But sometimes there's no words other than just acknowledging the situation, putting down some boundaries, taking a stand, but also being flexible so that the other people that were in her life can also feel that they are celebrating her life and dealing with her death in the appropriate way. But it's tough. It makes me, is there a white paper? Has anyone written in an article? Maybe somebody can put that in the live chat.
Yeah.
If you're aware of a blog, maybe, or some sort of article on how atheists deal with grief, might be a really interesting thing to send off to Nicholas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If anybody has a resource, definitely pop that in the chat or the comments. We'll take a look at it, and if we like it, incorporate it into what we can give them. Because at this point, we have Recovering from Religion, we have the Secular Therapy Project. We do have these connections with other organizations that are there to help, but we're always looking to expand our library, expand our resources, so that we can give people the stuff they need.
On that note, then I don't feel bad about mentioning a secret Facebook group. It's secret, like it won't show up in your list of groups if you're on Facebook and you join this group, but it's called Emerging Faith. And it's for people who are atheists, who are married to believers. They're still believers. I guess it doesn't have to be just if you're surrounded by believers, but you're a non-believer. It's a great online community. Send an email to emergingfaithhelp@gmail.com. We'll vet you, and then we'll add you to the group. It's very small, but that intimacy has some advantages too. So it might be something to check out.
Oh, good. That's awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely make sure that's in the description as well, so that people can find it there. Thank you, Anthony.
Yeah.
All right.